to announce today's, just see the, maybe you're ready to start.
Okay.
I just want to announce today's broadcast is sponsored Leilu Nishmas, Mr. Ernest Stern. We all remember him. Big chaburah of the base Medrash, Yeshcaya, Shlema, Yehуда, Aryeh. Sponsored by his family.
Okay. Good morning, Eden. Again, anybody that's looking, this is for the people that are looking, that are using the camera. Anything that's underlined on my Gemara is just simply the names of the Tanoim and the Amoraim. Nothing, not any more complicated. So we're going to start from Chof Tes Omid Beis at the very, very bottom. Omer Abaya. Omer Abaya. La'olam. Now we move to Lamed Omid Aleph. La'olam li shatef inish nafshei bahadei tzibur. We were talking about the tefillah that a person is mispal when he goes out onto the derech, tefillah saderech. So Abaya says, La'olam li shatef inish nafshei bahadei tzibur. I won't teach that. I'm going to go straight to Rashi. L'shatef nafshei. Rashi explains, Al yispal tefillah ketzor. Do not daven this short tefillah b'loshen yochid in a singular form. Ela b'loshen rabim. You should use a plural form. Shemitoich kach, because by including other people, tefillah say nishmas. Your tefillah will be heard. It will be accepted. So back in the Gemara. The Gemara says now, this particular tefillah heichi nema, what is the how should one do that? How should one include other people? So the Gemara says, Yehi rotzen l'fanecha Hashem Elokeinu shetolichenu, and it's Elokeinu, so it's a lashon of Rabbim. Our God shetolichenu should also bring us l'sholem, to sholem. So it's a lashon of Rabbim. That's how it's done. Amos Masli, the Gemara asks, when is this tefillah said? Omer Reb Yaakov, says Reb Yaakov. Omer Reb Chizda said, Misha shemahalech b'derech. At the moment that you leave out onto your way. Now, just if you notice, Misha here, Schottenstein teaches the very moment, not within the first hour. Whereas on the daf before, Chavtes Omid Aleph at the very top, it says that they waited for Shmuel HaKoton, V'hishkiv bo shtayim ushloisha sha'os. They waited for him 2 or 3, and over there the sha'ah is translated as hours. Not that they waited for him 2 or 3 minutes, right, which would seem to be more plausible, but they waited for him 2 or 3 hours. I do not know why, but that's the way it's translated, so you must accept it, unless anybody knows any better. However, here it's again translated as Mishosh Mahalach B'derech, from the moment that you leave your house. Okay, I only just found it astounding that in the big Sanhedrin Haggadolah, they would wait for Shmuel HaKoton 2 or 3 hours. I mean, that would set their whole schedule off. I mean, the schedule, the whole day would be, I don't know. Here, I mean, here in the Agudah, in the average bes medrash, if you have if you're off by 10 seconds, everybody's already starting to bang. So 2 or 3 hours. Listen, it was Shmuel HaKoton. There's no question about that. By the way, over Shabbos, I told you that I would get back to you why Shmuel was called HaKoton. And there was a fellow that was there was a Chassidish fellow that mentioned Mr. Schwartz, who mentioned that Shmuel HaKoton was given that appellation of HaKoton because he was compared to Shmuel HaNavi, and so Shmuel HaNavi was the Godel, and he was Shmuel HaKoton. So that was why he was called HaKoton. So back to Omer Reb Chizda Mishosh Mahalach B'derech. When does a person say this tefillah? From the moment that he leaves his house to go out onto the way. Ad kama, until when can he start? Amr Rabbi Yaakov, Amr Rabbi Chisda. So Rabbi Yaakov Bar Chisda further said, until he's already traveled a parsa. Rashi, sorry.
You say until then, and leaves, or you have to wait to get can't say it after that?
No, you should say it before. I don't know how to do this, Tzaddik. Oh, really? Ad parsa Rashi gives Rashi explains two ways. Number one, it's up until a parsa. You could not say it after a parsa, then it's already too late. Because remember, the lashon that we said when you start that of this tefillah is you're supposed to take leave of the king. What does it mean? Hamahalach b'koinecha, to take leave. You cannot. It's not called taking leave of your master, of your king, when you've already taken leave. So up until a parsa, it's as if you're still leaving. The second pshat that Rashi says, he brings down from somebody from a Rishon called the Bahag, Hilchos Gedolos. Sorry. Oh, one of the Goinim, and and he understands the Gemara as saying, how big of a trip does one need to make in order to be mechuyev in this tefillah? And the trip is ad parsa, meaning if you would be making a smaller trip, then you don't have to do that. Okay, so Rashi is tzufriden with that pshat, and that's why he brings it down. However, he
Because it should never be too late.
Right. However, the wording of the Gemara is a little bit odd. It says ad parsa. So Rashi says both pshotim. Vehechi, how does one conduct himself when he's matzlilo, when he does say this tefillah? So Reb Chisda, Omar, mi'umad, he says it while he's standing. Reb Sheshes, Omar, afilu mahalach, he can say it even while he's actually still traveling. He doesn't have to stop traveling. Excuse me. Does not have to stop traveling to say this tefillah. Rav Chisda v'Rav Sheshes have a ko'ozli be'orcha. A story now to illustrate what they hold. Rav Chisda and Rav Sheshes were going on the way. Come, Rav Chisda stopped and started to daven v'komatzli, and he was davening. I guess he was davening this tefillah. Now, Rashi, when Rav Sheshes is first mentioned, Rashi says, Rav Sheshes ma'or einayim hava. Rav Sheshes was blind. And it's necessary to understand the story to know that Rav Sheshes was blind. So now that we know that Rav Sheshes was blind, Omer le Rav Sheshes l'shamei, Rav Sheshes told his shamas, my ko'ovid Rav Chisda, what is Rav Chisda doing? Omer le komatzli. His attendant told him he stopped to daven. Omer le, so Rav Sheshes was the one who said that you're allowed to say the Tfilas Haderech even while you're traveling. However, he said in this case, Ukman nami lididi, please stand me up, va'atzli, and I will daven, because mi yois toiv al tikraro. There's a rule that I should be called toiv al tikraro, and I should not be called ra, once I'm able to stand, because I'm not being matriach anybody, and I have to stand anyway because I have to wait for Rav Chisda. I might as well stand, even though Rashi says I do hold that you are allowed to say it while you're still traveling. Okay. Okay, we'll see in the Gemara. The Gemara will continue on this particular subject. My iko bein havinenu l'tfila ketzara. Remember, we had three tefillas here. We had the tefillah of Havinenu. We had a tefillah ketzara, which is said when someone is in a dangerous place. Remember, we paskin like the Acherim Oimrim, who said this tefillah, right? Who composed their own tefillah, and that tefillah ketzara and the short tefillah of Havinenu. What are the practical differences the Gemara is now going to clarify between them? So Zog the Gemara, Havinenu boy litzlule gimel kamayoso v'gimel basirayoso. The Havinenu tefillah even though it encompasses all the tefillah, even though we said that it encompasses all the tefillos of Shemoneh Esrei, it does not encompass the first three tefillos, meaning the Brachos of Ovois and the two after that, and it does not include the three tefillos at the very end. It only includes all the tefillos in the middle. The chimoti, therefore, because it does not include these three tefillas before and the three tefillas in the end, the chimoti leveise, when you're going to eventually come to your home, loi boi lemahader letzluli betfila. You will not have to repeat those tefillos, because the tefillah of Shemoneh Esrei at all. Kitzara, however, but if you're going to say the tefillah kitzara, meaning you were in a dangerous place and you relied on the ruling that you're able to do this, to daven this tefillah ketzara like the acherim, loy boil etzluli loy gimel kamais loy gimel basraisi. The gimel ketzara does not. You do not need to say the first three tefillos in Shemoneh Esrei and the last three tefillos. However, because of that, v'chimoti lebeisei boil lemahader letzlule. You will then have to repeat the Shemoneh Esrei, as Rashi says. Moti leveise boy mahader letzlule, because shahare loy hispalel klum mitfilos yudches. You said nothing regarding the Shemoneh Esrei. The hilchasa and the halacha is havinenu is said mi'umod. You must stand for the tefillah of havinenu. Tefillah kitzara, the short tefillah, if it's in a dangerous situation, again bein mi'umod. Both if you're standing, bein mahalech, and whether you're going on the way. The Gemara continues. We said in the Mishnah, hayaroichiv al hachamor, if you are riding on your donkey, toner rabbonon, hayaroichiv al hachamor v'higia zman tefillah. If one is riding on his donkey and the time for Tefillah Shemoneh Esrei has arrived, im yesh loy mi sheyoiches es chamore, if he has someone that can hold his chamor while he's davening, then yerid lamato, he must descend from his chamor v'yispalel and daven. V'im lav, if he does not have someone to do that, yeshiv b'mekoymai, he should sit on his saddle, he should sit on the donkey, b'mekoymai, where he is, v'yispalel, and he should daven as he's sitting. Rebbe says, bein kachu bein kach yeshiv b'mekoymai, whether he has, whether he doesn't have, he should still sit in his donkey and not descend. V'yispalel, he should daven there. Lefi she'ein daitem yusheves olov, because he's not going to be settled. His mind will not be settled in order to daven. Rashi explains that the settling is it's going to bother him that he's wasting time. Not wasting time, but that he's using this time when he could be traveling, right? And traveling in those days was always essentially a dangerous thing to do. So his mind will not be settled. His mind is better settled being on a donkey while he's going than if he would just be standing. Omar Rova says, V'item Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, halacha ke Rebbe. Halacha is like Rebbe. You can daven sitting down on your donkey.
So, halacha l'maisa, if you're driving and you forgot that if you daven mincha, do you have to pull over to daven? Are you allowed to daven?
Like I said, I consider this Gemara only because of the circumstances that took place in those days. It was essentially always a dangerous thing to daven, to travel. It just.
During a snowstorm,
What do you mean?
Huh? He's just reading the Gemara.
I'm asking as a thought, is today driving a car, the same halachas of elechtecha v'derech applied to today, how much you're supposed to learn as a driver, supposed to learn be'iyin, or only is allowed to learn halacha. Our minds on driving, I know today you think it's easy, but to manage a car today, videos in the back and food and snacks and fighting you.
The main thing, Rebbe gave his reason. His reason is that his daitin was not miyushav. And I translated that as being in a dangerous situation, and that's why he wants to get to his hotel, or he wants to get to a proper place for the night. Today, we don't really have that. We have police all over the place. We have rest areas. We have a beautiful highway. We don't have those situations. Right, but he could be going because of this. Why is it so important?
New York
It's more
traffic.
dangerous for you to daven while you're driving than
Your mind is never settled. You can daven wherever you want.
You're not going to have kavanah on your
I'll say the other way. His mind is always settled, so therefore he can daven wherever he wants.
No, there's no question. Look at Tchila, you have to try to stop to daven. But I've been in situations people forgot. I think there was a shaila. Yossi mentioned it that people were driving to a wedding.
It's a Yankov story.
No. They were driving to a wedding and they were going to be late.
Oh, he went down to Philadelphia.
No. And he was driving to a wedding and there was a question if to pull over for mincha and be late for the chasana. Yeah, you remember that story?
Yeah.
You had to be late for the wedding and they called the Rosh Yeshiva. He said, absolutely not. Daven
Did you have
wherever
a
you
kibbutz
are.
or you just stopped?
No, it was a Bachur.
Oh.
He posed the daven in the car.
Oh, that's a stunning story. That was with Reb Chaim Epstein. Reb Chaim Epstein, there were 10 Bachrim that were on their way to a chasana. And the Bachrim realized that they were in Williamsburg and they would not be able to make the chuppah if they would stop and daven for mincha with a minyan in Williamsburg. So they called up the Rosh Yeshiva Reb Chaim Epstein. And Reb Chaim Epstein, I told you the story when it happened. And so they called up their Rosh Yeshiva, and the Rosh Yeshiva said, "Are you 10 Bachrim? Are you part of the chaburah? Are you part of his friends? Like you guys are his buddies?" And they said yes. So he said, then if so, then daven mincha b'yechidus and just go to the chasana. So one of the Bachrim called Reb Chaim Epstein back, and he said, "Rosh Yeshiva, I want to know, I myself never missed minyan since I was 13 years old. I'm now 21. I've never ever missed a minyan. Should I go with my chaburah or not? Or stay in daven here?" So Reb Chaim said something classic. He said as follows: Yiddishkeit is not about making records. Yiddishkeit is about doing the correct behavior in each and every situation. Tana Rabbonon. Suma umi she'ena yochel lechaven es haruches. Someone who is blind, or someone who cannot tell which direction he's looking at, north, east, south. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand all of that. Yechaven liboy keneged oviv shebashamayim. He should think in his heart that his tefillos are towards our Father Shebashamayim, Shenemar, v'hispalalu el Hashem, and I will daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hoya oimid b'chutz la'aretz, if one is standing in chutz la'aretz, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. Oh, how come we don't bring the camera down? There's no more table. Okay. Okay. Right. If someone remember, here we're talking about a fellow that cannot tell the directions. Otherwise, he should be yachzir ponov le'eretz Yisrael, but he doesn't know how to do that. So therefore, he should simply have in mind that he's davening towards Eretz Yisrael. Shenemar v'hispalu eilecha derech artzam, which is towards our land. If one is standing in Eretz Yisrael, then yechaven es liboy keneged Yerushalayim. You know what? I disagree with what I said before. I'm not sure if what we said before, oimid b'chutz la'aretz, if we're still talking about a summa. The problem that I have is if you look back in our Mishnah, the Mishnah says, at the very end, it says, Yechaven es liboy keneged beis kodshei hakadoshim, only someone who is mahalach besvino oy ba'astos, only someone who can physically not turn towards the kodesh hakadoshim. It's only a fellow like that is able to just be mechaven liboy. I don't know why here we don't say yachzir ponav. Actually, Rashi uses the loshen machzir ponav. Later, we'll see in Rashi, so I'm not 100% sure, but we'll start again. Hoya oimid be'eretz Yisrael, if he's standing in Eretz Yisrael, yechaven es liboy keneged Yerushalayim, he should only have in mind that he's davening towards Yerushalayim. Shenemar v'hispalu Hashem, I will daven to Hashem derech ha'ir, there towards that city, asher bocharta, which you have chosen, ha'yoimid b'Yerushalayim, if someone is standing in Yerushalayim, yichaven liboy keneged Beis Hamikdash, he should be mechaven his heart towards the Beis Hamikdash, shenemer v'hispalu el habayis hazeh, ha'yoimid b'Beis Hamikdash, if one is standing in the Beis Hamikdash, yichaven es liboy keneged Beis Kodshei HaKadoshim, he should be mechaven towards the Holy of Holies, shenemar v'hispalu el hamokim hazeh, I will daven towards this particular place. Ha'yoimid b'beis Kodshei HaKadoshim, if one is standing within the Kodesh HaKadoshim, for instance, the Kohen Gadol, for instance, the Kohen Gadol, and as astounding as it sounds, there were workmen that had to go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. I don't know.
No, Rabbi Artie Scroble says, that's Abu Mishi Yochel Chavin is a Ruchois, then he goes on to Moyed B'chutz.
Okay. Okay, there we go. However, if one is standing within the Kodesh HaKadoshim, Yechaven es liboy keneged Beis HaKapoiris, he should be mechaven towards the Kapoiris. I made a little bit of a diagram. Okay, and this is the Kodesh, this is the Heichel, this thing, right? This is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. This is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Here's the Oren. It touched the Paroiches, the actual curtain, right? Here's the Kapoiris. Here's the Kodesh. Here's the Kodesh. Here's the Kodesh HaKadoshim within where the Oren was. And then there was 11 Amas, which we're going to see why that's important. Here is the Koisel Hamarovi, where everybody davens, right? So this way is Mariv. This way is Mizrach. This way is Tzofin. This way is Doram. I'm going to hold this up when we come again to the Gemara. So that's before the work, because the Kohen Gadol really had no business to be in back of the Kapoiros. The Kohen Gadol put the Kapoiros right in front of the Oren. He came in front of the Kapoiros. He would never be on the other side. Right, he would never be on the other side. We'll come to that. Okay. So, however, if someone was standing after the Kapoiros, Yira Atzmai Ki'ilu Lifnei HaKapoiros, he should consider him, he should think in his mind that he's standing in front of the Kapoiros like everybody else, because most of the Eden were here. This was the Azor, this is where everybody was. So he should, if he was over here, he should think to himself that he's over here, and he should daven there. Nimtza, therefore, it comes out, Oimid b'mizrach. So if somebody is standing over here, he should think to himself as if he's here and daven with his mind towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim, right? Therefore, oimid b'mizrach, someone who is standing in the Mizrach area, machzer panav l'marav, his face should be turned towards Marav. B'marav, if someone is standing in the west part, machzer panav l'mizrach, he would be facing Mizrach. B'doram, if someone is in Doram, is in the southern part, machzer panav l'tzafin, his face should be turned towards Tzafin. And b'tzafin, if he's standing in the north, machzer panav l'doram, he would have his face turned towards Doram. Nimtzu, therefore, Kol Yisrael, it comes out that all of Yisrael, wherever they are, mechavnin es libam lemokim echad, they are all concentrating on one place. Amar Rab Ovin v'itemer Rab Avino. My kro, what does it mean when the pasuk says Kimigdal David Savarech, like the tower of David is your neck? Bonoi letalpios. What does that mean? Tal, the hill, shekol pios poinim ba, the hill which all mouths are turned towards. The Gemara is now going to tell us a story about Avuah de Shmuel v'Levi. They must have been traveling often together. So the Gemara says, Avuah de Shmuel v'Levi ki havu boy lemeifak leurcha. When they would travel, have a mekadme umatzli. I don't know what the word mekadme means, to push up. I mean, the opposite of to push up is to delay. Does anybody have a better word The only word I was able to come up with was accelerate. Does anybody have a better word? What does it mean to be magdim? How could we translate magdim into English correctly? Mekadme. Right. So if I wanted to say that somebody delayed his tefillah, how would I say the opposite of delaying his tefillah?
Preempted? No, not preempted is not the word.
I tried. The best thing I came up with was to accelerate the time, or I don't know. Yeah.
When
Okay.
you say makdim refuah l'makra, what do you really say? You say makdim refuah.
Okay. It's just as an aside. We all know what the Gemara means to say. Have a makadme umatzli. They would accelerate their tefillah and they would say their tefillah at home before the zman. This is the Shemona Esrei umatzli, and they would daven. V'chi have a moti zman kriya shema. When the time for kriya shema came, they were already on the road, right? Karu, they would daven. They would read kriya shema. So the Gemara asks, Kiman. Sorry? They said Shemona Esrei before Zman Tefillah and before Kriya Shema. So the Gemara says, Kiman. On whose authority did they do this? So the Gemara says, Ki Haitana, they did it according to this Tana that we're going to say, that we're going to say. The Tanya, because we learned, Hishkim lotzes lederech, someone gets up early to go out on his way. Mevi'in loy shofar, we will bring him a shofar v'toika, and he'll blow shofar. Or if it's on Sukkos, lulav, we'll bring him a lulav and he'll be menana. Megillah, if it's on Purim, we'll bring him a Megillah v'koira. Ukeshegi zman kriya shema, and when it comes time for kriya shema, koiri, then he'll say kriya shema. However, the Brisa continues, Hishkim, if he gets up early to travel and he's going to be leishiv bakar and he's going to be sitting in a wagon, oy besvino, or in a boat, then mispalel, he should daven first at home, ukishiyigi zman kriya shema koire, and then when the time for kriya shema comes, then he'll read it. So this is exactly what Avuah de Shmuel and Levi did. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar oimer, no. Bein kach u bein kach koire kriya shema. You say kriya shema before. In both cases, whether in any way you're traveling, you will always say kriya shema first, umispal, and then you will say the tefillah of Shemona Esrei. Why? Kedei sheyismech geula letefillah, so that you should say put geula and tefillah together. No, you did. You have to go on your way, and that's when you actually say tefillah and kriya shema. And the Gemara is going to explain. The Gemara is going to elaborate. B'maika miflagi, because what is the argument between these two Amoraim, the two Tanoim, Reb Shimon ben Elazar and the Tano in this Brisa? B'maika miflagi, because Mar Savar tefillah me'umid adav. It's more important to daven while you're standing, and so therefore daven at home when you can stand, not when you're sitting on a donkey or something like that. Umar Sover and Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, it's more important mismach geula letefila odif. It's more important to daven with geula and tefillah together, to put them together, and not right. More important. No. Right. So the Gemara continues. Marei mar umar zutra. This is a very interesting account. We're going to learn about Maremar, Umar Zutru, and Rav Ashi. These three Amoraim were darshonim in their respective Bati Midrashim. And how did they conduct themselves when their droshes were said early during Zman Kriya Shema? So Maremar Umar Zutra Have, what would they do? Have mekanfe be'asor, they would gather 10 people, b'shabbato de raglo, on the Shabbos of the Regel. Umatzlu, and they would daven, v'hodar nofik lepirke, and then afterwards they would go to the Bismedrash. Reb Ashi Matzli, Reb Ashi would daven Bahadi Tzibura with the Tzibur, Bahadi Tzibura biyochid. He would daven this tefillah on his own, Miyushav, sitting, and Ki Hava Osli the Beisei, and when he would come to his house, have a Hodar Umatzli, he would daven again. So let's go into Rashi so that we can understand what's going on. Rashi says very nicely, B'Shabbato deraglo, Shelifnei Pesach ve'atzeres ve'sukkos. This was talking about the Shabbos just before Pesach, Atzeres, and Sukkos. The tradition was to have a drosha on that Shabbos just before to basically say about the halachas of the coming Yom Tov. Mareimar be'iroi, Mareimar in his town, uMarzutra be'iroi, and Marzutra in his town. Hoyu hadarshonim, they were the darshonim. V'shachris hoyu ha'om holchem lebeis hamedrash. The populace would come, the Yidden would come to the beis hamedrash. Ukshemagia zman, this was obviously very early in the morning. Ukshemagia zman kriyishma, and when it came time for kriyishma, koirin, everybody would daven. The Hadarshan, however, the Darshonim, Marzutra and Mareimar, they would still be Doirish. The Ha'am Nishmatim Umispalim Ish Levadi. The Am would do the Yidden would do all this on their own. Ulakach, and therefore, because this was the practice, Lekach Heim Hayu Ma'asvin Lohem Yud, they would gather the Mareimar and Marzutra would gather a minion of people Shachris Koidim Sheyelchu LeBeis HaMedrash. They would gather these people even earlier, before they went to the Beis HaMedrash, V'koirin Kriyishma, so this is way before the Zman of Kriyishma, Umispalim, and they would daven. Besmichas geula letfila, and therefore they would daven early before the zman, but they were soimich geula letfila v'hoder nafki lepirka v'dorshi, and only afterwards would they go to the Beis Medrash and be doirish. Umatzli bahadi tzibura loy garsinon. Rabbi Ashi, what did Rabbi Ashi do? Rabbi Ashi hoya rosh yeshiva b'masa machasio. Rabbi Ashi was the darshan. He was the rosh yeshiva in this town of Machsa, v'doirish v'hu lo hoya mispal koydem beis hamedrash. He would not daven the way Marzutra and Mareimar did. He would not daven before, except. What would he do? Ela k'shemigia zman kriyishma, while he was darshaning. When it came time for kriyishma, loichish harba yachad limiturgaman, he would say a lot of the drosha to his miturgaman, who would say over his drosha to the people. So now the miturgaman had a lot of material, and the miturgaman had to speak for quite a while. This miturgaman who stood before him, ubaoid, and while shamaturgaman mashmiel rabim, and while the miturgaman was speaking and allowing the people to hear him, hu kaira Reb Ashi would read the Kriyishma es Shema, v'soymech geula letfila umispalel, and he would be mispal Shemaina Esrei miyushav. He would be mispal Shemaina Esrei while he was sitting. The rabbim were able to say their own.
I'm saying they're listening to the tournament, so they didn't daven.
I guess they were able to do what Mareimar did, and Marzutra did. They did a little bit, one by one. Shaloi hoya, and Reb Ashi said Shemaina Esrei miyushav shaloi hoya lotzes shaloi lahatriach es hatzibur lokum milfonov. He did not want to get up and leave the Beis Medrash for a moment or two, because he simply did not want the tzibur to have to stand up for him again. Okay, so we'll go back into the Gemara. V'hodar nafka. I'm sorry. No. Amri le Rabbanon. So the Rabbanon told Rav Ashi, v'levid mar. V'levid mar kimare mar umar zutro. Why did Reb Ashi, why did you, our Rebbe, not do as Mareimar and Marzutra did? Omer luhu trichli milsa. It's a tircha for me to postpone the drosha. Meaning, if I would first say,
if I would first say Kriya Shema and Shemona Esrei before I went to the drosha like that, and I would have to postpone the drosha. I don't want to postpone the drosha for possibly hundreds of Yidden. So the Gemara says, so they asked him further, V'levid Mar Ka'avua de Shmuel. So then let Mar do like Shmuel and Ka'avua de Shmuel V'levi. Why didn't Reb Ashi do as Shmuel V'levi did, meaning to daven Shemona Esrei before Kriya Shema at home? Amar Lahu, Lo chazino lahu l'Rabbanon. I have not seen Rabbanon Keshishi. Schottenstein teaches Keshishi as being senior Rabbonim. I've not seen senior Rabbonim minon da avni hochi. I've never seen this done by anybody who is a senior Rov. Maybe that's where it comes from. Okay, Keshishi minon.
Rabbis who are our seniors. Is there a particular reason why they wouldn't do it in the afternoon before Mincha?
So I have a little note. I wrote here, I don't know why the lecture was not permanently delayed until after Zman Kriya Shema. I don't know why they specifically had to, the Gemara says that he didn't want to make people wait. It's almost like he didn't want to change the time. But why didn't they?
Shabbos. If he had 4 places to go to.
Okay, good. Good. So there just simply was not enough time in the day.
They had to learn Daf Yomi.
Those are 4 days of Mishpacha magazine and Ami magazine. Lots of time people had.
They probably had their own magazines.
What?
They probably had their own magazines. Okay, Zakter Heilige Mishnah.
To get to next Mishnah, you'll have to. What does it say about a donkey? You have to be focused on the road, right? So you have another Amr to go.
Okay.
20 minutes.
Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah Oimer, Ein tfilas hamusofen ela b'chover ear. The tefillah of Musaf is only said when someone has a minyan of people in a town. V'chachomim oimrim b'chover ear v'shaloi b'chover ear. When you do not b'chover ear v'shaloi b'chover ear, you can do it whether you can say tfilas mincha whether you have a minyan or whether you do not have a minyan in town. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Mishmoi, Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah, Mishmoi, Kol Mokem Sheyesh Sham Chaver Ha'ir, every time you have a minyan in the town, Yochid Potter. A Yochid is Potter mit Tfilas Musafin. If you're davening b'Yechidus, you do not have to daven Tfilas Musaf. So Gemara says, Rabbi Yehuda Hainu Tanakama. This Rabbi Yehuda is the way the Tanakama quoted Rabbi Lezer. Ika beinayu, there is a difference between Rabbi Yehuda and the Tanakama and the way the Tanakama quoted Rabbi Lezer, because it's as follows: Ika beinayu yochid sheloi b'chaver ir, a yochid who is not in town. So Tanakama sover potter. Tanakama holds that in that situation you will be potter from tfilos musaf. Rabbi Yehuda sover chayiv, and Rabbi Yehuda will say, however, that you're chayiv. Omer Rav Huna bar Chanino, Omer Rav Chia bar Rav, Halacha ka Rabbi Yehuda. Halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, She'omer Mishum Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah, which is that Kol Mokem Sheyesh Sham Chaver Ha'ir Yochid Potter Mitfilas Musafim. Omer le Rabbi Chia bar Avin, Shaper ka Amrit. You said good that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. He's speaking to Rav Huna. You, Rav Huna, said good because the Omar Shmuel, because Shmuel said, Miyomai loy matzlino tzelusa de musafin biyochid. In my entire life, I have not davened the tefillah of Musaf biyochid bin Hardo. When I was biyochid, when on bin Hardo, in Hardo. Levar, except for one time, mehahu yuma, from that day, the also Pulmusa de Malka, when the military of the king came into my town, Lamasava Atrid Rabbonon, and the Rabbonon became very torrid from them, V'loitzalu, and they did not daven, V'tzalu libi yochid, and I had to daven on my own. And this was my case, V'havi yochid, I was in a situation, Shaloi b'chaver ir, and I did not have a minyan, and therefore I daven biyochid, which is the way Rabbi Yehuda paskind. Yosef Rav Chanina Koro. Rav Chanina was known as an expert in all of Torah Shebeksav, and he was sitting in front of Rabbi Yanai, Kamei de Rabbi Yanai. V'Yosef, V'Yosef v'Ka'omar halacha, and he said to Rabbi Yanai, halacha. The halacha is ki Rabbi Yehuda, like we said before, she'omar mishum Rabbi Loza ben Azariah. So Rabbi Yanai said to him, Omar le toik kro karecha lebro. Take your Torah and leave the house. Go outside. Why? Because the ain't halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda. She'omar mishum Rabbi Loza ben Azariah. Rabbi Yochanan said, Ani ro'isi es Rabbi Yanai, I saw Rabbi Yanai that tzoli v'hodor tzoli. He davened twice, meaning he davened twice, once shacharis and obviously once musaf, on his own. So Amar le Rabbi Yirmiyah le Rabbi Zera, so Rabbi Yirmiyah said to Rabbi Zera, V'dilma me'ikor like kivin daite, ulebsoif kivin daite. Maybe the first time, maybe he davened twice only because the first time that he davened, his mind wandered, and that's why he had to daven again. Amar le, so Rabbi Zera told Rabbi Yirmiyah, no. Chazi man gavra rabba de kemahasid alel. You must take notice who was the one who said this, who was made. This was Rabbi Yochanan. It wasn't a simple person, and Rabbi Yochanan would not say his edus if he saw that Rabbi Yanai simply did not have kavanah. He must have felt that the halacha was not like Rabbi Yehuda, as we said before, and he had to daven twice, even though he was a yochid. And he had to daven musaf, even though he was biyichidas. Rav Ami v'Rav Asi, they say, Rav Ami v'Rav Asi, afal gav dahavu luhu tleiser b'nei knishta, even though there were 13 botei midrashim b'Tveria, where they were, loy have a matzlu, they did not daven ela beinei umudei heicha dahava garsi. They only davened in the place where they taught. Itmar, Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi mishum Rabbeinu. Rabbi Yitzchak, the son of Avdimi, said in the name of Rabbeinu, Omar, he said, halacha ka Rabbi Yehuda, like we said before, she'omar mishum Rabbi Loza ben Azariah. Rabbi Chia bar Ovin, tzoli v'hodor tzoli, Rabbi Chia bar Ovin davened, and then he davened again, like Rabbi Yanai did. Omar le Rabbi Zera said to them, my time eloi Ovid mar hochi, why do you not do this? My time of Ovid Marochi, why did you daven twice? If it's because you didn't have kavono, Rabbi Lozer said, a person should prepare himself. A person should always prepare himself. And if he couldn't be mechaven his liboy, he should be mispal. But if he cannot prepare himself and he cannot control himself, and he cannot control his mind to have proper kavona, he should not al yispal. He should not daven. Is that ela deloy adker? Is the reason why you daven twice because maybe you forgot mar dereish yarcha? You forgot that it's Rosh Chodesh, and you forgot to say Ya'alav Yovai, v'hatanya, we learned in a brisa, someone who makes a mistake, v'loy hisker shel Rosh Chodesh, and does not say Ya'alav Yovai ba'arvis, ein machzirin. He does not have to repeat Shemona Esrei. B'pnei sheyoch lo omer b'shachris, because he could say it the next day in shachris. And b'shachris, he does not repeat it, ein machzirin oisim, b'pnei sheyoch lo omer b'musafin. And in shachris, he doesn't repeat Shemona Esrei because he's able to say Ya'alav Yovai in musaf. And b'musafin, ein machzirin oisim, b'pnei sheyoch lo omer b'mincha. And in Musaf, he doesn't repeat it because he's able to say by Mincha. Omerle lav itmer Allah, Omer Rabbi Yochanan b'tzibur shona. We not say that this is only talking about in a tzibur when the Chazan repeats the Shemona Esrei, and that's why I would not have to repeat Shemona Esrei. But because I was not davening with the tzibur, I had to repeat it. Because I forgot it. Zok the Gemara. Kama yisha bein tefillah letefillah. How long does one have to wait between one tefillah and the next? Rav Huna v'Rav Chizda.
Sorry, but what's I'm missing. Which tefillah are we talking about?
Either shachris or musaf, meaning you have to wait, or if you forgot to say a specific tefillah and you have to say two tefillahs together. Is there a time? Do you have to wait between the two tefillahs, or right away you could say Shemona Esrei and immediately you say another Shemona Esrei? and you have to say another Shemona Esrei.
The longer you wait, the more chances is you're going to forget again. So you're saying you say Ashrei and you forgot, let's say Mincha, you forgot Ya'aleh V'Yavoi. Should you not say it again right away, right? That's the question.
So
Should you wait?
should you wait?
The question is, no. What I'm saying is when somebody says to wait, you got to give me the side. What are you suggesting how long a person should wait for? If the Gemara is a Havamina...
Look at Rashi. Kama yisha bein tefillah letefillah. How long does one have to wait between two tefillahs? So what are we talking about? Mishi yeshel of lachzor. Someone who has to repeat Shemona Esrei ula espal. Oy mishum deto. Or because he forgot to daven shachris completely. Oy mishum musafin kama yisha bein zulazu. Right? How long does he have to wait? Should he wait between? Maybe he doesn't have to wait at all. But somehow the Gemara takes it as a havamina that he has to wait some time. So the Gemara continues. Kama yisha bein tefillah letefillah. Rav Huna v'Rav Chizda chad omer kedei shetischoinen daitoi alav v'chad omer kedei shetischoilel. Schottenstein teaches shetischoinen as a supplicatory way of davening. He has to compose himself to do that, and shetischoilel they teach it as entreating. How do we to supplicate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, now I know what it means.
What's the difference?
So
That's a note of his between translations. Yeah, oh yeah, he does say supplicatory frame.
I didn't know how to make a difference. That's why I'm just. It is what it is.
On the previous daf, we said
Should
that
bring
you
out,
have to make
should bring out
tefillahs.
you
have to make
should bring, I
tefillahs
should get you
like-
the Sensino. Check everything he has to say.
We said on the previous amud that you have to make your tefillahs like.
True, but the problem is that both of these, but these two words, we don't know the difference between the two words. What is the actual difference in the English language between?
Bring in the
Our
Sensino.
school brings down the Rebbeinu Chanal that says that Chinun is Brachos L'Kabel Dover,
Right?
and Chilui is Brachos L'Chilui D'Musha.
Okay, mechila.
So one is I'm asking for something, and one is that I'm asking for something.
Entreating is I'm asking you for a favor. I'm asking you to. I'm asking. Ask for favor.
Good.
Supplicate is
Okay.
to say to beg forgiveness.
See, even with Schottenstein, we still need Rabbeinu Chananel. Okay. Shkoyach Shlomi. Where are we? DYLive?
Make it funny.
Yeah, hold on. You're reading the
Mom.
note?
Reading note 14.
Yeah, there's no practical difference between these two
And keep
explanations.
reading on, it's the same.
They differ only with regard to the term used.
They're synonyms. It's saying they're synonyms. That means two words
I
that have the
like
same
your
meaning.
explanation more. And a person has to have a chana.
So there was on
When a person has a chanas for davening, we're speaking to the Hasidic people in the shiur. When a person has a chana for davening, and he prepares for davening, and then the Shemona Esrei is missed, does he have to go back all the way to the beginning of a chanas? That's the question.
Obviously, because he didn't have the right
Or do you say no? You can use the chanas from the first one into the second Shemona Esrei. That's the
Let's say
pshat.
you missed, let's say you didn't have to run it by mincha. There's not enough time to before. He's going to say second marv, is that better? We have to say
Listen,
mincha,
if
okay.
Hasidic vocabulary means something else. Usually it refers to your bathroom.
Listen, going to the bathroom is a big hachana, because if a person doesn't have, if a person's not settled, you can't concentrate. It's that, people make fun, but there's
No,
it's
it's not
nonsense.
making fun at all. But the point is, there is Yishia when a person is waiting. That's what I was grappling with. Why should you have the havamina to wait? What are you going to do with that time of waiting? Right? What is
Okay.
it gonna help? That's the question.
Listen, one of the main reasons why one of the reasons why we have a minhag to say Ashrei before every tefillah is because you don't just get up and daven Shemona Esrei. You get up, you compose, you say Ashrei, you think about Ashrei, and then you start to daven.
Also, right?
Okay. Man de Omar, kedei shetischoinen, daitoi alav. How does he know? Why does he say that is what you should do? Because it says in the pasuk ve'eschanon el Hashem. It uses a lashon of chinein.
That's when he wanted something. He wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael, right? Moshe
Okay.
Rabbeinu.
Okay.
So this
Besieged,
was the point.
maybe he wanted to be, maybe Moshe Rabbeinu wanted HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be moichel him so that he could go to Eretz Yisrael.
No, the next one is the split.
Right. So now I'm telling David that it might not be so.
No, Rashi says on this
Yeah.
that he wants a free gift. Get
Okay.
out of jail free card.
Listen, that's what.
Chinam. So maybe
That's what
that's
this
a
Chana means.
What?
That's what this
On the word eschana in Parshas.
Listen,
Rashi says he wants a free gift. B'chinam. I think he uses that term.
if even Moshe Rabbeinu felt that everything that he got was not deserving and everything was free, then alachas kama v'kama, you and I. Umanda Omar Kadesha Tescholel, and according to the Manda Omar that says that you should have in mind a loshen, a term of mechila, dechsiv. Why does he say that? Because it says in the pasuk, Vayichal Moshe, loshen of a term that is used to denote mechila. Omar Rav Onon, Omar Rav. Rav Onon says that Rav said, To. Someone who forgets to say a Shemona Esrei, someone who makes a mistake, V'lo Yizker Shel Rosh Chodesh, and he does not remember to say Ya'alav Yovei Arvis within the Tefillah of Arvis, Ein Machzirin Oisa, he does not repeat Shemona Esrei. Why? Lefi she'ein Bezdin Mekadshin Es HaChodesh Ela B'yoyim. Bezdin never establishes Rosh Chodesh only during the day. Omer Amemar says, Mistabra Milsa Derav B'chodesh Molei. It's only Mistabra the halacha of Rav on a chodesh molei. Aval b'chodesh choser. However, when the chodesh before was the chodesh of choser, which was only 29 days, then machzirin oisai. Omar le Rab Ashi la Amemar Michti Rav Michti Rav Taimaka Omar. Rav said the reason for what he said, Mali Choser Umali Mole Elo Loi Shono. Okay. Hadron Aloch Tfilas Shachar. Hadron Aloch Tfilas Shachar.
You want to go a little more?
I'm not. I can't go a little bit more. I didn't prepare anymore. Right.
Rosh uses the words of Rashi to say,
Uh-huh.
and there's a Rav Yossi, that is that paskins that Rebbe means that.
Okay.
Rashi, and the Rosh paskins like that.
Well, okay.
So you should be happy that you're not giving it up on Wednesday.
What's Wednesday?